Why howdy there, and welcome to Mower Mike's Garage. Today we are not doing lawnmowers. We are doing a special plumbing segment about one of the top things that'll piss you off in life, and that is a leaky outdoor water faucet. Yes sir, right here they leak, and they don't leak till you turn them on. When they're off they seem like they're fine, then you crank them on and it just leaks right there. And do not leave these on, because they will leak down into your foundation. They will screw up next to your foundation and it causes a complete mess. So today I'm going to show you a couple quick ways on how to fix this. We got a redneck method that's super cool, and then a regular method, very official, with bib washers and everything. Now before you get your wrenches out and start cranking on this sucker, we got to turn off the water to the house. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull up to the front of the house here, and we're going to crank off the water real quick, and then we'll get back over here. So stick with me. We're on to step number 2. You have to turn off the water to the house, because you don't need water coming out of that spigot when we pop the top off her. Now, a lot of times there are shut-off valves separate that are up towards the house, but here I'm going straight to the source, up to the water meter where they have the shut-off valve. What you do is you take off the water meter base, and I suggest everybody, if you own a house, buy yourself a water meter key. They're about $18 on Amazon, super easy, and it makes this job a lot easier. So what you're looking for is the key. The key is going to be between the actual water meter and the street. Don't look towards the house. It's going to be a little square thing right there, a little rectangle with a arrow on it. And what you're going to need to do is turn that sucker to the right. So what I do, I take the water meter key, it slides right up on top of there, and it just makes this job a lot easier. Just turn it to the right and you crank her off. There you go. Now let's say if you don't have one, you ain't got no money, just got enough for a gasket on a water faucet. You can get your old channel lock pliers and do the same thing. It just takes a little more man strength, I like to call it. This is not a woman's job. Just crank it to the right. There you go. And that'll turn it off just as good. Just make sure to crank her all the way to the right. So with that, we get back to the water faucet. I think my wife disagrees with that last comment. And we're gonna get back to fixing this leaky faucet.
At least I know how to work a flashlight.
All right, so we got the water turned off to the spigot. What we need to do now is remove the handle, and then we're gonna remove a little cap underneath there. So to remove the handle, get yourself a good old flathead screwdriver, and it's just gonna go on that screw right there. And you wanna hold the handle and then just unscrew it. Now, a lot of times these are gonna be pretty sticky, because they're hard to get off because they get all corroded. But you unscrew that, and then what you're gonna have is a little cap here. And our gasket is right underneath this cap. Now, don't go cranking on this cap just like this, because you don't wanna do that, because it'll put too much pressure on your pipe. I like to make sure to at least hold the base of the faucet with a big pair of a crescent wrench, or I got these channel locks here, made in America, and then just go ahead and pop it off. Now make sure your water is off. If it's not, you will get blown in the face. All right, that's great. All right, so you've got it off, and this is the culprit right there. You'll see that little gasket in there. Now, if you're lazy and you don't want to spend a bunch of time doing this, there is a lazy man's method that might work. So what we've got here is called packing. And what we do is, this is like Teflon packing. You take it out and you shove it on top of that gasket. So I'm gonna get a good chunk of it here. Let's see if we can cut a piece off. It's just like string. And what you wanna do, you just wanna wrap it around here, and then we're gonna screw our gasket back on it. And you don't need a whole lot. You just want enough to where you can get in there and still match up the threads. This stuff is tricky. I put too much in there, as you can see. Let's see if I can snip that sucker off. And what you're trying to do, you're compressing this packing where that gasket's supposed to be. And sometimes when you do just this, it can fix your issue very easily. Now, this is definitely not the approved Plumbers of America method, but the packing does cost like $3, and you can buy it at any hardware store, whereas they probably don't have the right gaskets for this, which mine did that. All right, so we got the packing on there. We're gonna go ahead and shove the old handle back on there, like so. And we're gonna put our screw back in here. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a lady's job. Ladies can do this, and they will do this because I have faith. Because women actually fix more things than men a lot of times. And they leave nicer comments, not like you grumpy men. All right, so we've got that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and crank the water back on. I'm not gonna bore you with that process, and we're gonna come back here into the future and see if this works. All right, we're gonna test out the faucet. I have my doubts. I don't think it's gonna work, but it might work. Do you think it's gonna work, honey?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, you got faith. All right. Let's crank her on. She's just got the redneck packing. Oh, look at that. Look at that. No freaking leak. Well, we've got a small leak, but it's a drip versus a stream. So I'd say the redneck packing is blocking 75% of my leak. But let's do it the right way. So, all right. Come back, and we're going to do it the right way. Stay with me. All right, kids, we're back in Mower Mike's shop. And what I've done, I've taken the cap back off the end of that faucet, the same one we took off before. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a proper washer onto it. So you see my great new freaking Apple iPhone 14 super duper camera right there. So that's our washer, and underneath it, there you go. As you can see, the white part, that is the packing material. So that's gonna be right above our washer. So I've just got a little pick here. We're gonna pull that out. I can see it just packs in there, nothing special. Oh, buddy. All right, and then down in there, we've got the washer. Now this washer, like this one, it is really old. It's super hard in there. I mean, you can try to cut it out, but you know, it's just not coming out. It's hard as a rock. So what I like to do a lot of times, anytime I can do this, is the use of flamage in Mower Mike's shop. So to loosen up a rubber washer, I like putting a little flame on there. Look at that. what a shot. Get a little smoke going in the shop's always a good thing. A little heat. And what this is going to do, it's going to loosen up that washer in there and help me squeeze her on out of there. Oh yeah, because over the years, these things get super hard up in there. All right, we got a pretty good heat on there. Let's see if I can get her out now. Oh yeah, it's coming out. I'm just trying to be careful not to use my fingers on this sucker. Out slowly. All right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a better grip at it. Come back on it. All right, so I got a better grip on her. I'm gonna take a big screwdriver in there, that loosened washer. There she goes. And you're just gonna have to wedge it on out of there. You can see it's starting to crumble. Now, I'm not gonna bore you with every little piece, but what you can do, you can either cut it out or just heat it up like I did. What I've done, I've successfully melted the washer in there. So it's gonna take a little work to get her out. All right, so I'm gonna get this thing cleaned out, and stick with me and we'll throw a new washer in there. All right, after a lot of grunting and moaning, I finally got that gasket out of there. It took a lot of fire. It was a pain in the butt. I had to cut it out, melt it out, do everything I could. As you can see, this gasket's so old. It's from 1988 when the house was built. It just falls apart. Anyways, all right, so we got the gasket out. Now we need to replace it. Now, what do I do when I want to replace a gasket? I go online on the Amazon and I try to buy every single gasket kit I could find because I didn't know what I was looking for. First off, I bought the bib washer set. This apparently is not a bib washer, so don't buy bib washers for this thing. I bought this set here, plumbing repair kit. Nope, wasn't in there either, so ignore that. And then I bought the granddaddy of them all, this O-ring kit, and poking around in here, I went through all of them. This has got all sorts of O-rings. I found that this one here, this little sucker, actually fits pretty dang good in there. So what you'll do, you'll just slide them in there. And you want one that's gonna slide in there. It's not gonna be real hard to get in there. As you can see, you can just push it in there and no big deal. So let's see. All right, so you can see it's set in there just right. Now this gasket here is this one. So it's the rubber OD. So it's 15 millimeters on the outside diameter 8 millimeters inside diameter, 3 millimeters thick. So if you want to research that, if not, I'll just go ahead and put this gasket set link down below, and you just buy the whole set for 20 bucks. It looks super handy. It's got all sorts of stuff. All right, so we got this sucker set up, and let's go strap it on and see if she fixed our little leaky weaky. Stay with me. All right, I am ready for the big climax of what's gonna happen here. We got the cap with our new fresh rubber washer, and all you do, you screw it back on there. It's gonna shove a little tighter on there just because you got a good seal now. You can see right there, and you just do it the same way you took her off. Go ahead and hang on to the base and just give the top a twist. Make it tight, but not super tight. Then go ahead and throw your handle back on her, just like so. This is one of the easiest jobs for a plumber to do, but they will try to charge you $400 for this job. Trust me, one tried to do that here in North Texas. All right, so we got her hooked up. Go ahead and pause it. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the water back on, get back over here, and we'll see if she shoots water or if she's sealed up. All right, I am super boned up to see how this works. I've been putting this job off for weeks, and the wife has been pestering me every day. So let's see if she works. Oh, look at that. Oh, it feels good too. It's got a little tighter squeeze to her. Oh yeah, I don't see any drops at all. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is a dry. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and say this thing is a win and fixed. I'd suggest doing this every 3 to 5 years around the house. That way you don't have all the leaky faucets. So that, Mower Mike's out. Catch you next time.
Don't say boned up.
All right, I am super boned up to see how this turns out.